will come back, and that father and we kill our sons and father, they will not respond. Very diplomatic, and you understand that, look, you wouldn't want to go into the murky waters of these political disagreements. Baba has a contract to protect. I think he's just doing that. And I think he's just doing the man to enjoy the job he's doing for the nation. That can't have a 4 billion contract every month to take and joke with it. This is what it is.
All right, then let's move on to other stories. And I would actually like for us to speak about a particular issue of insecurity in Borno State. I wanted to raise that earlier whilst we were talking about the weekend stories, but I needed to be sure that I had the soundbite I needed to use for that story uploaded. And I said regarding the Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, and his comments on insecurity in the country. Mind you, in Borno, suspected Boko Haram members, let's say that, and 7 persons have been reported dead. I believe 12 others have been injured terribly, and some people are still unaccounted for, amongst others. Has said that they were partnering with the presidency. They're trying to see the governor's concern, implying that the state may be losing control to Boko Haram insurgents across the nation. Now, following this, but mind you, he made the statements before the bombing, and Babagana Zulum had been raising alarm about the recurrence of Boko Haram insurgents and the frequency of attacks. And that was when Mohammed Idris, naive, you are not on ground, you don't know what is happening, amongst other things. And I'll let you hear from the horse's mouth. It's just about a minute long, and then we can talk about
lives. About 7 were severely injured and 14 experienced minor injuries. Let me start with the responses. I don't want to join issues with the Minister of Information. I believe he's naive of what is happening in the country. He doesn't know what is ongoing in the country. Our discussions during the Security Council was not bad. We just raised an alarm that there is a resurgence of Boko Haram activities about the looming situation. I think this is a very good advice. Nothing has been said again. But most importantly, I want to assure you that we have been to Abuja. We met the service chief, especially the CDS, Chief of Army Staff, Naval Staff, as well as Air Staff. We receive assurances from them that they will do everything possible to control the situation. And we are so happy with the response that we had from the service chiefs. And the government of Borno State will continue to partner with the Nigerian military, will continue to partner with the federal government of Nigeria at such incidents.
Welcome back. That was the voice of Babagana Zulum of Borno State speaking on the security situation there to minimize the incidents or the recurrence of these incidents. Fuad, what are your thoughts on his position on all of this?
Well, on the Minister of Information, that never, debunked or dismissed, the issues raised by Professor Babagana and the fact that the military is not doing enough, to curtail. I think the first thing, like we always said, we said it severally on this platform today, that this government should be careful with the idea of living in the UK politics with. You don't even live in denial about it. You must take it seriously. Babagana Zulum is the governing state. It has to be Professor Babagana Zulum. It's always on ground. It's very, very steadfast. It's trying to ensure that normalcy and peace returns there. They call him Arudeyo. I'm sure you know the person I'm talking about. A governor in the southwest here, there's a resurgence of Boko Haram elements in Borno. I think it should be taken serious. Minister of Information is naive and does not know what is going on in the country. That's a big indictment. That's a big statement to make against the Minister of Information that should know. You understand? But again, this is the problem, Sage. Because, because of our job, we have to, who is a member of the APC, and Professor Babagana Zulum, who is also of the APC, would not be able to agree on a simple information party, just politics. Maybe the other man is trying to play politics with this one, but they are of the same party. So why should there be a problem, really, with God? Is that there are people who suddenly think this conversation around Boko Haram is to paint the Bola Ahmed Tinubu black. You see, I'm saying that is what we are getting from the political state. And what they are saying, it's also from Borno State.
Yes.
They also think that it is not accidental that the governor of Borno State is also making statements like this. Again, to show that the government is not doing well when it comes to the issue of insecurity. And the one they are saying, again, things coming from the political space, political associate. What is the Senator too? So, but I think that politicians can continue to talk about things like insecurity, resurgence of Boko Haram elements in Borno State. Can we just take politics away from it and focus on that issue and get serious about it? We knew what Nigeria suffered, what a lot of Nigerians suffered from had become a big problem in the northeastern part of the country. His response was late because, again, when he says that, look, these guys are regrouping again and are becoming a threat to Nigeria at this time.
The Punch this morning, it's on page 8, is talking about presidency dismisses U.S. court order on Tinubu. Had quite the conversation, but we still have more to talk about. It's trends in the papers on Mainland FM. We're talking about the reports that have made. You can listen to us via our official website, www.mainlandfm.com, or you can use Radio Garden or whatever online radio application of your choosing, and Radio Garden, Radio Tuna, or via our official website. Thank you very much for your patience. Now, any notion of fresh revelations emerging from a United States court order directing the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Drug Enforcement Bureau Howell of the U.S. District Court in Washington, D.C., who instructed both agencies, I'm talking about the DEA and I believe it's the FBI now, Freedom of Information Act. And this was actually as a result of a request that was made by a researcher for the information of the investigation that was carried out by the FBI and the DEA on the allegations of drug peddling leveled against now President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and 3 other individuals, Akonde Muiz, Abiodun Agbele, President Tinubu, and these are the names of the individuals that were involved in it. They were accused of being. He says that the government lawyers were reviewing the judge ruling, and he's arguing that the document will add no fresh dimension to the precedent is going to provide to us. Now there's been a response from former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, and you forgive me for giving out all the information at once, is so that we can have requested for this document. I've told you the position of the judge, who says the FBI and the DEA should release the information, not be tainted in character. He also said that the reason is clear. The matter of the presidency of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, whoever occupies that position must not be someone of tainted character, the government and the school that the leader attended. The fact that this issue concerns the government and the occupant of the office makes it even more significant. This is the foremost black nation in the world. It's the most popular elections, and he says that he cannot allow for.
Okay, see, I like the fact that you put everything together at 3-5 when it is expected that this document will be made public, and it's a group of people that have been investigated by the FBI and the DEA in the United States of Chicago concerning drug trafficking and what have you. That's what came up, and at that time it was said that yes, document has
tax.
So there was this argument whether it was criminal forfeiture or not, blah, blah, blah. But I think the release of this document probably give whether it was criminal or civil forfeiture. And that forfeiting monies does not necessarily mean that you are the indicted. A lot of legal expertise in the nation should not be found having issues like that around it, for sake of integrity and what have you. That there are questions around the certificate. There are questions around a lot of things that has not been completely resolved. Document is released, and the only thing we can talk about is the immorality that comes with. All we'll continue to say is that we shouldn't have a president that has a lot of stain around him or these kinds of issues around him. So again, I'm sure, because again, if you look at, there's one man that is so interested, his certificate, whether it's at the Chicago State University, the issue of the drug matter and what have you. He's always been at the forefront of who have been digging with. I don't know why he's jumping the gun. I like the fact that he has said that the lawyers of government are already looking at this judgment. I have to make it public for the world to know what happened at that time. So I think the 2nd of May will be an interesting time really for people that may want to look at it cool, calm down, keep our fingers crossed to see what will be in the document when it's eventually made public by the 2nd of May.
Page 8 of the Punch newspaper has that in headline because the rains are indeed coming. Now to page 9, we have autonomy. 774 local government. On Tuesday, here a suit filed by the Association of Local Government of Nigeria against the Central Bank of Nigeria and others over the implementation of Utilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited report once again since July 11 that autonomy saying that they need to do the Know Your Customer initiative before they can open bank accounts for the local government, amongst other things.
We have still not been able to implement the Supreme Court judgment. It's going to be 1 year in July that judgment was sent to ensure this financial autonomy for the local government. They want the status quo to remain. So they've been coming up with different and meeting accounts and doing all the necessary things that they require. So many of the states have still not been able to fulfill the requirements of these monies to be transferred. And it's all intended to ensure that this does not happen. If you aggregate all of this information together, this issue should be dealt with, working on the homegrown solution. It should be go directly to the accounts of the local government, so the governors don't have any form of control on the money. So the information is there for still not being able to implement that judgment. Why we have not been able to do so, a lot of information has come out. I'm sure that it's unfortunate.
Unfortunate indeed. Well, that's everything for high cost of living and bracing up for a wage renegotiation. Because of time, I might not be able to go into the details of very poorly phrased. But how soon and how much effort would they be willing to expect?
I think they say three years.
I have amnesia. I don't remember. I don't remember anything that you're saying. There's another story here. We have Huriwa condemns systemic dismantling of democratic. That up until this very moment, we still don't have all the girls, but
and that's why we should pay attention to what Professor Zulum is saying.
Yes, indeed. A declaration for individuals running for public office would help to expose whatever concealment they might have been able to do with our analog system, the one that was open up whatever form of corruption exists with that system. Is on page 7. We also have Jega individuals, right, or somebody that I don't know is a hip-hop singer, for example, and this is not too bad. And then you see some university, not just in Nigeria, even foreign universities granting them honorary, the rash honorary awards that is granted to those he terms as unworthy characters. His words, not mine. That is on page 5 of the. I don't know. I don't know why you're asking me all these questions. I'll say I don't know. Why are you asking? Well, it's not just artists, it's just random individuals who has really
individuals, not even artists.
It's just random individuals. Like, I can understand, an academia, somebody, I don't know, some activist, something. Show me something of national repute that this individual has done. Nothing.
Global benefit that you have done.
So looms. This is according to Nasima on the state of the economy and how tariff or the increase in tariff is going to have an effect on us here. We have
want to tax people the more
taxation because our manufacturing industry is not in a very good place right now. We have export revenue at the moment until the system. Yes, 51,000 people apply, but Enugu State, for example, less than 100,000 applies to join the military. Not applying, and it's just mostly the northerners that keep applying, and people who want the studio. Oh, also, since the ban of Idris Abdulkarim's song, Punch newspaper actually to affirm your position on the issue, whatever. Anyways, let's take a break. We need to take commercial.